All right, welcome back. Let's get to the dailies and find out what the dailies are saying. Let's start with the Blueprint newspaper. It leads with a political one. Umahi to Obi orders, join Tinubu's 2027 train. All Southeast governors already on board. Flaunts massive ongoing projects across Igbo land, other regions like governors, PDP, senators reject Atiku's coalition plan. Well, we're not doing this alone. We're being joined by Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Sam Kargbo, joining us virtually. SN, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
And thanks for your patience as well. So this is the Minister of Works, as always. Literally, most of the time I see him, he's literally campaigning for the president, even from the outset. So this is not different, but this time he's saying that others should join in because the Southeast, according to him, he's claiming that all the Southeast governors are on board. What do you think?
Well, I think it's a very interesting phenomenon because APC in particular, they've been very strategic in winning over the opposition. And the Southeast, particularly, you could see it's an opposition bloc. It's basically a PDP and of recent Labour region. Of course, you have Africa there too, having a state. So to get an inroad there, you have to be very strategic and deliberate. And I think Tinubu has been able to do that. His appointment of Umahi has helped because the East need a lot of infrastructure, and as skeptic as the region is, they would need to have a person that would actually oversee that particular aspect of their own interest, which is the infrastructure. And I think beyond the appointment and the overture to political and stakeholders in the region, I think the Tinubu administration has been doing a lot in the area of infrastructure. The East need a lot of leadership, energy, Port Harcourt, energy, energy, Bakaleke, Onitsha, and all of these places. If Tinubu could actually work on that, he may be able to get the confidence of the people, because for now, what I see basically overturns at the elite level, but does that actually translate in numbers? The grassroots level, I think there's a lot of work that still needs to be done in that area.
All right. Let's take a look at the next daily this morning, and that will be the Vanguard newspaper. And this one has gotten a lot of people talking. Pardon, yet again. NAS budgets disagree over 6.93 trillion naira projects in budget 2025. So you see how NAS, that's the National Assembly, inserted over 11,000 projects. That's according to budget. And you see the Senate saying that the 2025 appropriation bill was interrogated and passed based on exact amount presented. And the reps also speak saying NAS has powers to amend budget. So this back and forth, you can almost predict that every year there's some talk about padding here and there. Do you see any issues to it, Senior Advocate?
Well, I think it's an ongoing conversation because actually the meeting point and the area for bargaining in governance all over the world is in the area of the desire of the government to execute its own program and the generosity or otherwise of the lawmakers to give them the money to do so, because the Parliament or the National Assembly is actually the one with the authority to appropriate finance for the debt. So this sort of conversation will go on. But you know, we've had a lot of concern over the years about the sincerity and the integrity of the National Assembly in its own involvement in appropriation. Yes, the law says you are the appropriator of the finance, the budget, and all of that. But it's the job of the executive to actually do those projects. It is executive in its own wisdom has cited areas of development and has taken these areas to you for appropriation of funds. It may not be right for you to supplant your own interest, especially now that they have what they call constituency projects, which to me sometimes are much more heavier in the budget than the other projects. That's why we have this haphazard development. We do not have a development plan that is progressive. What you have over the years is this envelope system whereby everybody talks in their own interest, everybody spends in their own interest, and at the end of the day, you have uncompleted projects, you have wasteful projects all over the place. So I would hope that this time around, it is not just a conversation over who to get what, but actually there should be a convergence on the area of development.
Well, let's take a very quick look at The Guardian now, which moves away from politics and the budgeting process to the economy. MPC seeks fiscal support on Naira stability, retains interest rate at 27.5%. That's on the front page of The Guardian, and you see the graphical illustration there of the breakdown of the MPC's decision from yesterday's meeting. And so some would say that it is not unexpected that the Monetary Policy Committee would retain interest rate at 27.5% following the minimal reduction of inflation in the preceding month. But really, shouldn't there have been other decisions that will also take into account the other aspects of the economy, i.e. The real sector, which is the backbone of the economy, either through a reduction of interest rate? Mr. Kargbo.
Well, you see, yes, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank has its own quarter for it. You see, the government and the central bank cannot talk past themselves over the economy. There is nothing that the central bank can do to control inflation and the value of the Naira without a corresponding or complementary effort by the government. So what? Reduce wasteful spending and actually try to move the economy into much more productive areas. Until you have a convergence over the monetary policy and the fiscal policy of the government in terms of revenue generation and expenditure, you may not be having a much more desired result in the area of protecting the Naira. Over the years, the spending has been very reckless, although I think the data coming now is that there has been a reduction from about 96 to about 68%. Yes, that's a very significant development, but there is a lot more that has to be done. There is the need for diversification of the economy, and I think there are areas of the economy and other sectors that if the government puts effort into that, they'll be able to expand its own revenue generation. It would be dangerous for us to have a government that only looks at statistics. You cannot, at this time, pay much more attention on taxation than you would have been for other projects. Agriculture, to me, is a very, very, very big source of income. If the government policy in agriculture are right, we may be able to have divergence from or a push from what would I call it now? Dependence on oil. We have to go into production. Nigeria has gotten to a point whereby it has to have very serious effort, deliberate effort at production. Because until we have that, until we start having
Well, Senior Advocate, looks like we just lost connection with you, but a very important point you were making there. But we have to thank you so much for your time. We've been speaking with Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Sam Kargbo, who's been breaking down some of the major stories on the front pages for us this morning. Thank you once again, Senior Advocate. But we'll take a quick break now, and when we return, one of the big stories making the rounds in the country. Budget says the National Assembly inserted over 11,000 projects into the budget. The National Assembly says, no, we did not. It is just normal procedure. What exactly is going on here? Well, Budget is right here with us in our studio. I'll be back. Stay with us.